Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now let's hear our special guest host, Josh and Alexis Parker.
What's going on, Alliance family? This is the Wednesday Call. We are so glad to be a part of this on today. My name is Josh.
And I'm Alexis.
And we're the Parkers. Look, we're so excited to be here on today. Look, this call takes place every Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time in these Americas. Okay, so we got some really good content on today. But first, I want to get some people that are really near and dear to our hearts. First, we want to just thank Andy Albright for 25 years ago saying yes and keeping it and cultivating this business. Thank you so much, Andy. Also, integrity partner Andy and Angela Riddle, so inspiring to us on so many levels. We can't say thank you enough. Integrity partners Jason and Olga Mathis, thank y'all so much for that Craigslist ad that you put out, that our uplines, our leaders, integrity partners, junior board members, Tia and Terry Edwards the Great. Give it up for them. TNT.
Boom.
Let's go. So before we get into some content today, we got some announcements, okay? So we're going to talk about the big thing, National Bootcamp. Come on, National Bootcamp is coming up October 16th, 17th, and 18th. We want to see you there all 3 days, okay? A time of some fun, the family's getting back together, and we're going to grow. All right, and those are on, like I said, October 16th, 17th, and 18th in Burlington, North Carolina. Come on. We were just here a few weeks ago for the family reunion, and y'all know every 90 days we keep this thing going. Okay, so the ticket prices are on the website. Get your tickets. Get them now, okay? Be the next one to reach out to your upline and get those tickets, okay? Also, we got some big trip points that Andy is allowing us to be able to participate and do. Okay, so who wants to go to Portugal? Go ahead and raise your hand in your living rooms, in your office. If you want to be in Portugal, go ahead and throw it up in the chat. If you got the chat, throw it up in there, and we got some ways that you can win. Okay, Andy is giving 250,000 points to the first place earner. Now, 10 people get to earn this, okay? But the first place earner gets 250,000 points, and this is how you win, okay? This is all about recruiting and building, okay? Every person that you fast track, all right, you're gonna get 1 point, all right? Every person that you get licensed and contracted with our carriers, you're gonna get 2 points, all right? Every policy, right? Because we don't want to just bring them in. We want to help them get going. So every policy that they write, whenever they write their first policy and it gets issue paid, you're going to get 3 points. Okay? Well, when they submit the policy, and then you'll get 4 points, once it's issue paid. So each brand new agent that you invite to your team, the Monday after the event was over, the last event, okay? Those are the ones who qualify. You can get up to 10 points per person. All right, so we're gonna build. Look, and there's some extra. Look, it's not just 250. Second place gets 220,000. Third place 180,000. Look, so we're trying to get to Portugal, y'all. All right. Also with the big event in October, if it's your first event, Andy is giving you 275,000 points to go toward Portugal. Okay. So he wants you there. The question is, do you want to be there? Okay.
We do got the Alliance Extension Trip and Literacy Contest, and that started from June 1st to December 31st. And it does include two couples. They're going to have an opportunity to earn an unforgettable experience in Portugal. But you must be or have qualified for the main trip and the extension. Okay, guys? How do you earn it? Two of the top builders with recruiting will earn their spots. And then we also have the Mutual of Omaha all expense paid trip as well. Ooh. All right, they're going to be sponsoring two writing agencies who meet these requirements. So this first requirement, you guys, you have to be a new agent, and a new agent is any person that has been contracted in 2026, okay? With a minimum of $15,000 annual premium with at least 5 applications.
That's right.
5. Come on now, we can do 5. All right. A veteran agent, all right, anybody before 2026 contracted with a minimum of $20,000 annual premium with at least 6 applications. Earn Portugal. We have all these points coming along the way, you guys. We also have Portugal Power, which is where you can earn 25,000 bonus points, all right? Again, we got a couple of options. Option 1, you build 3 different legs with issue paid production, okay? 3 different legs. Now, it doesn't have to be your first 3 legs. It can just be 3 legs.
That's right.
Anyone in there, all right? Then those 3 legs, or at least 2 of them, need to have 2 additional legs underneath them. Once you get there, you're going to be able to earn your 250,000 points.
Okay. All right. 25,000. Sorry about that. So first, let's shout out we got some people that have earned the trip between last week and this week. So we want to shout out Eric and Bobby Belair. Let's go, Eric and Bobby Belair. Next, we got Mark and Nicole Burrows. Let's go. So they didn't win the trip. They won the extension, the extendo. All right, so they're going to spend a few more days in Portugal. So great job to y'all two couples. Now, the people that actually earned the trip for the first time, not first time, but they're initially earning the trip, okay? There we got Augustine. Oh, man, I don't want to mess this up. Nananta. All right. So it's started to my head if I messed that name up. Congratulations, Joe and Tony Walker. Come on, West Coast is the best coast, is what he say. And then we got from the suburbs of Chicago, Mike and Kate Marisi. Give it up, AN Alliance Nation. Give it up for all of the Portugal trip winners and extensions. Great job. All right. All right, we do got another contest, okay? This is sponsored by Excel, okay? So it's the year-end giveaway, okay? So you get to win a share of $2,500 cash. Woo! Cash money. Or a trip to the Players Championship, okay? So this is how you can win. Every new enrollment equals 1 entry into the contest, okay? So $2,500 across 10 winners, okay? So you'll have 1 grand winner, the grand prize, a wow. You're gonna get $1,000, okay? 4 winners are going to win $250, and 5 winners are going to win $100. Okay, so we have all of these contests. Andy Albright is trying his darndest to get as many people to Portugal as he can. Okay, so please join us in Portugal. It's going to be amazing, and it's for you and the guests. Okay, so Those are the announcements. Check your area. Check the theallianceevents.com for any hot spots in your areas. Okay? These hot spots, if you don't know what a hot spot is an event where we can come in person and grow and learn about this opportunity. And we have very important people that are running these hot spots. So get your team out all over the country to these hot spots. Okay? All right. So we're going to move right along. Well, let me just tell you a little bit. This is our first time hosting the Wednesday call, and some of you may not know our story. So we're going to tell you a little bit about us. Me and Alexis have been partnered with the Alliance for the last 5 years. And man, it has been an amazing journey. And just a little bit about my background. I was a military brat. My dad was in the Army. So we lived and traveled around the world. You know, we've been to Japan. We've been to Korea, Hawaii. But I graduated high school at a place called Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Okay. And then I moved to North Carolina to go to the illustrious Winston-Salem State University. And that's actually where I met my wife.
Yes, and I grew up with a really big family. I have 7 siblings, and I'm directly in the middle of my mother's biological children and her adoptive children. And I went to a high school in a small town called Yanceyville. It's actually really close to Burlington, where I graduated from Bartley Yancey High School. And then I also attended Winston-Salem State University with a major in criminal justice.
Look, y'all, and look, we got 4 beautiful children. We got 3 girls and we got a boy. We actually got a 3-month-old. So look, y'all pray for us, okay? All right. So my background after college, I was working in a call center as a federal student loan servicer, and I got introduced to this opportunity, y'all, on the toy aisle of this large distribution company. We know it as Walmart. All right. Yep. You heard that right. Terry Edwards the Great found me on the toy aisle, and I started doing this opportunity just 2 days a month. Every other Saturday, I would go out and help families, and I started to double what I was making on my full-time job. And y'all know what I had to do, y'all. I had to fire my boss. Look, thank you, but no thank you. I don't need your permission to be sick. I don't need your permission to take my kids on vacations.
Right. And I was actually working in the back office as well. And I was working at a car insurance company. And I told Josh, listen, I love what you're doing. I'm seeing the growth in you, but I'm going to stay over here and study for my LSAT for law school while you stay over there and do your own career thing. So I told him I ain't never going to do it, okay? But I was seeing a lot of change in his behavior and his character, and let's not play no games in that paycheck, okay, you guys? And that's when I decided to join, and I actually went to the conference in Miami. It was family reunion, and that's when I was on stage and I saw Andy Riddle, Mike and Noel Leventovich, Terry and Tia Edwards talk about building a business.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna interject real quick because I heard it put like this. Somebody asked Andy Albright, what books should I get my wife to read to join this company? And Andy said, get him to read your checkbook.
That's right.
All right. And that's what I did. So I got to throw that in there.
All right. And that's when I knew, you guys, that building a business was highly important here. And so that's when we got right to it. And today we hope to add some value to some agent who was maybe thinking the same thing we were thinking, looking to build a big business.
That's right. So last week we had Sebastian and LaQuinta, man. They did an amazing job with the guests, and they talked a lot about getting around people, right? Getting into new environments, right? They talked about networking, okay? Visiting people. Get out your house. You can't build this business in your house, okay? James Coleman like to say, strangers got your money, okay? Personal use. That's something they talked about very heavily, and creating opportunities, okay? So today we want to take it just a step further, because getting around people is only the beginning, okay? what we want to do is build relationships, okay? So that we can get good results. Somebody put in the chat, say good results.
Good results.
Okay? Because one thing I know is two people can meet the exact amount of people and have two completely different results. So the difference often happens after you meet the person.
And that's what we want to talk about, okay? How do you understand people? How do you figure out what motivates them? How do you get them to their wins? And ultimately, how does those relationships turn into clients, agents, builders, and leaders?
That's right.
Because one thing we believe in is we sell to eat and recruit to live the lifestyle we want. Now, our team, we believe that everybody has different strengths, okay? Josh and I, we have different strengths, and we don't expect every last one of our agents in our organization to have the same strengths either.
Yeah, and that's very important, because sometimes people into this business and they like, man, I gotta talk like my upline, or I gotta recruit like my upline, or I gotta sell like my upline. No, you need to learn the fundamentals, but then you gotta figure out what you do well. And for me, especially over the last couple months, I've been excelling and doing well with building depth. Right? But it wasn't something I was always good at, right? But I had many talks. Me and Terry would talk about, Josh, it's good you're getting wide, but you got to learn how to get deep, right? So that's something I really took a hold to, while Alexis, she does an amazing job at getting width.
Exactly. And Josh, I think you do an amazing job with the 3-foot rule, okay? Josh is never meeting a stranger. 3-foot rule is his absolute strength, okay? And now I also believe I do a great job with my interviewing skills. And you may have a great way of connecting with people. Someone else may have a great way of closing. And somebody else may have a great way of following up with people. All right. The question becomes, what is your strengths? Okay. And are you actually using it?
That's right. So I want to bring my guest up. And as they bring our guest up, well, let me just say this about my guests first, okay? So these are some good friend of mine, okay? And they're just not talking about it. They're going out and doing it. Remember, we only do one thing here. One thing and one thing only. We sell, we recruit, and we build. That is the one thing that we do, okay? So we have these three amazing people that we want to have to be able to share their amazing experience as well on what they have going on in their businesses and things like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll start with Ryan. We have Ryan, Ryan Chang, we have Sabrina Frank, and we have James Smith. Okay, so these are some of you all's leaders, okay? So, Ryan, we'll start with you, and then Sabrina, and then James. Tell us who you are, okay? How you learned about this opportunity here at the Alliance, okay? How long you've been partner here with the Alliance. And tell me what you're excited about as it pertains to recruiting and building.
Well, all right. Hey, the Parkers, thank you so much for having me on the call. Thank you, Andy Albright. Thank you, the Alliance family. We don't take this light. Josh actually had a meeting with us last night. We want to make sure we give you guys what you guys came here for. So my name is Ryan Chang out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been with the Alliance, partnered with the Alliance for 3 years, just a little bit over 3 years now. The way how I found out about the opportunity was actually through one of my clients. Marvin and his wife were an insurance client of mine from my previous firm. And one day, I think was out of the blue moon on a Wednesday, got a call from Marvin and say, hey, I'm getting in touch with this company. Sounds really amazing, great people. You should check this out. And you should come to one of the events. So that was the pitch. And I was in the middle of the office, just finished up a meeting. And I'm like, my client is telling me to get me out of this, to get him out of this office. That was really interesting. And at first, didn't really think nothing of it. But family reunion 2023, Miami South Beach, that changed my life. First time seeing everybody, first time seeing Andy Albright, just witnessing the culture. And right now, what I'm most excited about is truly the team and the culture we're building with the Alliance, getting people plugged into the systems, getting people plugged into the 8 steps to success, and just all the things we're doing, helping our clients and helping our agents win. I mean, the insurance program, the retirement program, Chris Norris's investment team, the ITS Trust, the debt solution. I mean, you name it, we got it. I'm so fired up and excited about all the long roads ahead. Excited to qualify for Portugal. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, man, I remember having, I believe it was NatCon. And I remember we were getting upgrades to our rings. Ryan was getting his rings or upgrade to it. And I remember just having a conversation with him, my first real conversation. And man, I was just like, man, I am so inspired by this guy. He is amazing. And he said the same, and we were, iron sharpening iron. But man, Ryan, so glad to be able to have you on this call. Next, Sabrina, same thing with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you for inviting me on this call. Thank you to Andy Albright for, the opportunity and everything. I am Sabrina Frank. I'm out of Tampa, Florida, live an hour north of Tampa. As many of you know, Florida is very hot right now, not just temperature, but we got a lot of stuff going on in Florida. I've gotten into the business 5 years ago. So I've only been full-time with the business for 4 years, but 5 years ago, my mother decided, Marnie Frank, if you don't know her, invited me to go to one of these conferences that we have once a quarter. At that time, it was every half a year. So it was family reunion of 2021. And she said there was food. She was going to get my ticket. And I said, you know what? I was in nursing school at the time. I had to make sure I passed my finals that week. Otherwise, I was going to have to retake them and we wouldn't have been able to go. So it was a little bit in God's hands as well as your own control, because I had to make sure I passed that test. So we drove up that weekend, and Vanilla Ice was there, pretty cool. We never talked once about the business, and they're rolling out the new program of getting promoted and stuff, and I'm like, So on our way home, we didn't talk anything about it, but on the way home, I said, I think I can do this. And she's like, you think you can do what? I said, the insurance thing. Part-time, I was a CNA at the time, taking care of a 98-year-old woman for about 12 to 15 hours a week while going to school full-time. So I started adding on this. So I got home that weekend, Monday, and then I was licensed by Friday. So I scheduled my tests before I finished the course. So I scheduled it, and I got my license by Friday. So really jumping in and getting started. And it's been a wonderful 5 years of just personal growth, business growth, family growth overall. One thing I'm super excited about is the fact of building a business, building my legacy, building my career per se, that we're able to do that. We're able to add on super cool things, being part of the Alliance. The estate planning was huge for me and my business and my family. The Medicare, life insurance, all of it. And if there's one thing, if you don't know about me, I love doing a little bit of everything. I like doing everything. So I don't turn down making money. Okay. But that's what I'm super excited about. And again, thank you, Josh and Alexis, for having me on the call.
Oh man, no problem at all, man. Was able to really spend some time with Sabrina and her mother Marnie in Cabo. Was really able to grow and with them. And that's another reason you gotta get on these all expense paid trips, y'all, because the people that are there are high level people. And those are the people who are growing and being successful here. So you got to do everything in your power to muster through to get to these events, okay? And these trips, okay? So we'll move right along. Now, Ryan, I'm kind of curious, okay? So when you think about your own success, what would you say are some of your biggest strengths?
Got it. So I think one of my biggest strengths is believing in people, and sometimes really truly believing in people before they believe themselves. I think that's really big, and help meeting people where they're at, and to figure out really truly what they want. I know sometimes when we get people in our organization, we're telling them our goals and what we're trying to accomplish, but we forget to ask them, hey, what do they want? What success means to them. And another thing is, I think I'm just a person that I'm willing to move. I know on stage at family reunion, and again, thankful for the opportunity to be a main stage speaker on Sunday, I talked about being willing to move, to make the calls, to do the recruiting, to do the dialing, the selling, right, the building, to do the traveling, going out there, like Andy said, go see your people, making them move and taking action. We don't need everything to be perfect before we make a move. We got the system. We got leaders like Josh, Alexis, Sabrina here. We got Andy Albright, all the board members showing us the way. Doesn't need to be perfect for you to make a move. And more importantly, sometimes now I'm thinking, by believing in people doesn't mean that we do the work for them. Right. I got somebody in the system in the team say, I want to build a big team. I want to recruit a lot of people. I'm like, okay, I would drive, I would fly to you, and literally I was walking with the agents up and down the street. I go, you live here, right? And I literally pulled a valet parking boy, went up there, 3 full rules, shake hands, got the phone number in front of him. Next day, met with the guy, gave him a step to success. We signed the NA numbers for him, the agent agreement, and he came to stage to success. Wow! Like we're through full ruling and converting them to get the books, get them to read, to get them to read the ASAPs, to come to the event. Right. So now you're showing that example. Now you show your people that you can move. Now they start moving with you because you're leading by example. And I think the other day I was working, it was 2 days ago, I was working 3 in depth. Give my agent a shout out, Celeste. I was working with her, with a client, helped her submit her first trust with the ITS, new agent on our team, 3 in depth. And she commented, she said, thank you for one, spending the time, and 2 is to explain something that might seem very complex to something that's just very clear, is practical and easy to understand, right? Because if we're training somebody, we're teaching somebody, if they cannot understand it, can't duplicate it, maybe we're making it too hard and too complex for them, right? So I think that's some of my strength.
Man, that is so amazing. Believe in your agents before they believe in themselves. I know Terry, he tells us, hey, look, if you don't believe in yourself, borrow some of my belief. Right? Because look, we know this business is effective and we know this business works, but your agents may not always know it. So Brian, that is so big how you go in and you show your agents, look, this is simple. This is duplicatable. Okay, this is so simple. I'm going to show you how to do it. And not only I'm going to show you how to do it, I'm going to be for real about it and get them through the whole process. Because we only owe people 2 things, an opportunity and an example. So Ryan, man, thank you for that. That was really big. And so, and look, Alliance Nation, playing to your strengths doesn't always mean everybody gets to make up their own system. Okay, because we do have a process.
Right.
Okay.
And Alliance has actually done a really great job at showing us that this system works. Okay. Yeah. Andy Albright has done an amazing job. We don't have to reinvent that wheel. Our job is to simply follow it.
Yep. Andy always tells us, look, I don't need your mind. I don't need your mouth. I need your eyes and your ears, Bo. All right. So when somebody comes into our organization, we want to move through that system quickly. We don't want them sitting there twiddling their thumbs, trying to figure out what do I do next. Okay. We want to share the opportunity. And look, we have several ways. Okay. Several ways to share it. Okay. We have the agent list. You can buy agent lists. Guess what? If you don't buy agents list, President's Club will book agents for you. Look, if you don't have a growing business and you're not in President's Club, what you doing? Okay? Because Clay Murtis, Amir, they have put together an amazing package. And if you are struggling with your business, there's just no reason you should not be a part of President's Club, especially if you don't know how to recruit. Okay? So take advantage, leverage the system. Okay? So get with your upline about President's Club. Okay? They got a lot of different things to offer. Okay? Another way that we share the opportunity, the 3-foot rule. Okay, anybody that's within 3 feet of you, you should be talking to. Alexis, you know about this business?
I know about it.
Okay, so look, I 3-foot ruled her. Okay, so you want to make sure you're doing the 3-foot rule. And when our agents have people that they want to recruit, we create the triangle of trust. Throw up a triangle real quick. Okay, the triangle of trust. We have this person who don't know us yet. Okay, we have our agent, and we have us. So our agent edifies us to this person. Okay. And then when we get on the phone with that person, they edify this person to us. And then when I start talking to them, I edify my agent. Now we all trust each other. Okay?
Yeah.
So the triangle of trust is very important. So we like to fast track and carrier contract our agents the same day if they can. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we're trying to get them started quickly, okay? 24 hours is when they're the most excited about this business, okay? So the day we contract, I'm asking them that day, look, who do you know? Who do you heard Sebastian say it? We look, the dream team, we be sounding like owls. Who do? That was Terry Edwards' way of getting us to understand with a nice little thrill of how we can ask, who else do you know? Okay? These little things help. So who do you know that is sharp like you and can benefit from this opportunity? Okay. And then we have them create a list of people. So Alexis and I, we love to focus on, especially if they're not licensed, we got to get them focused on their LLC. Hold on. Nope. I know what you was thinking. A limited liability company? No. No. All right. A LLC. A list of people that they believe will be good for this business. And even if they don't think they'll be good for this business, put them on the list either way, because it ain't our job to be in control of somebody else's finances. And when we make financial decisions for other people by not recruiting them because we don't think they're going to do it, we can ultimately harm their life. Okay. So the L for the LLC is the list. Second, we want to get them licensed the quickest way. Okay, whether you have a professor-led class or whether you have a Zoom-led class or whether you have a self-study, we want to get them licensed. And then the C stands for conference or convention. Get them a ticket to the convention. Okay, so we want to get their LLC started on day one. Okay, next we go into our website training. Okay, now get with your growing up line on how you do your website training. One thing I do know is Robbie Kraft spent a lot of time helping us be able to review the website on our own time. Okay, there are so many. If you go under Welcome Art Videos, okay, believe it's under the resource tab. Welcome Art Videos. Robbie Craft has countless videos on how you can get started from the day you get started to when you need to write a policy. Okay, everything is in there. Please utilize that with your agents. Okay. After the website review, we do our GS3. You heard Sebastian talk about it. Getting started, goal setting, and then boom, go serve. Okay. So we're going to do their LLC, their GS3. We're going to find out what their goals are. And then we're going to talk about how much time it's going to take for them in this industry to accomplish their goals. Okay. And then we're going to have them create a list of people that they can reach out to get some practice appointments in.
Okay. The system, you guys, is literally a roadmap, okay? All you have to do is follow it. Our people skills help us understand how to move them along through that roadmap.
Okay. So, all right, so Sabrina, I want to ask you a question, and this is a different question, okay? But how important has following a proven system been in your success?
I mean, it's been massive. I mean, if I had to start my insurance career, which when I first got started, I didn't even know what insurance was, like life insurance was. So I was pretty new, as a 20-year-old person. Like, I didn't know what life insurance was. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, I wouldn't know the processes. I wouldn't know the operations behind it. And so that was massive. Just being able to plug into a system, the only cost was getting the license. And after that, I mean, where do you go where you start a business for like $200? I mean, nowhere besides here. Right. And immediately, I mean, even before I even got licensed, I got my first recruit and stuff like that. And because what I learned from conference about building a team and stuff like that. So that's all been super vital, as well as when something new comes to the table. I mean, the company has evolved over the past 5 years, but not being skeptical over new things. I have to have trust in people like Andy that have put the due diligence behind it, and especially with the estate planning. A lot of people were like, I don't know, but we said if Andy took a look at it and he says it's good, then I'm gonna go off of that, and it's been the best decision we've ever made.
Okay, now that's good right there. So Sabrina, let me ask you this. What are some methods that you're using to get width and depth? What are some of your methods?
Yeah, so methods, first off, to get width, we have virtual assistants over in Bolivia to call state license lists, and we use President's Club for ZipRecruiter ads, and then they put them on the calendar, our virtual assistants. So we have those two methods. So the cold market is the license list and ZipRecruiter, okay? So we're dealing with licensed and unlicensed people. Okay. I also 3-foot rule. So whenever I'm out at a restaurant, an Amazon driver, an Uber driver, I'm always offering them the opportunity, because once you start making some money, you smell a little different. And they normally go, "What you do?" They normally ask me before I even say, where, merchandise. They're like, "What's rides management?" Or something like that, something to perk their mind. And they normally ask me first, but I will offer, if they don't ask first. And I get their number, that's the big thing. Get their number. They're not giving you their number. And find a way to relate with everyone. That's a key thing. So even if you're like, they're short, I'm tall, I'm skinny, they're whatever, like, find something to relate with everyone. And I find that the second I can connect with them on something, either if it, I went to college, they went to college. I grew up in Florida, they grew up in Florida. Or, my parents were business owners, their parents were business owners. Just finding something you connect on. And then building in depth, definitely been working on that, especially with the competitions and everything. Been working on that a lot better recently. Been working with a few of my downline leaders on also how to do that as well, of duplicating that process. Biggest thing is try to build their dream and how it fits into their situation. When I first got into the business, I was like, yeah, I want to make money passively. So most people do. So I'm not being shy, and I offer it to them, and I help, kind of like you said, the triangle of trust. I get on the phone call with them. I get their list. We start, putting, we fast track them under them, get them into class, and my agents are able to utilize my resources to help onboard them and stuff, like do the carrier contract and stuff. So it makes it a lot easier to get that process started for them.
I really like that, Sabrina. What I'm seeing is that you guys are really getting in there and being right beside your agents. Y'all are giving your time, your energy, and I really do love that because it's going to show when, again, if someone can see your vision and see that you care about them, they're going to go extra mile as well. But Ryan, I did have a question. Where do you see people getting stuck when they start trying to reinvent the system?
But this one, man, for us managers, for us leaders, man, thank you for the questions, So really, people start reinventing the system before they ever master the system, right? And literally,
Ooh, Ryan, say that one more time for the people in the back and the people in the chat.
So people come into our organization and they start reinventing the system before they ever master the system. There were just not enough calls being made, not enough appointment being made, not enough people they have recruited. They haven't even used all the resource we have in President's Club, the wonderful President's Club. And they decide they want to throw in their personality and change what we got. And the system not only work for one or two, but for thousands, the systems that Andy Albright created. And I would say, look, I respect the door-to-door. I respect the car sales. I respect the solar. I respect everything that, people have done and that have success prior. But you got to earn the right to innovate. You got to earn the right to innovate. And because first of all, you have to follow the system at least long enough to understand why it works. And why it works for so many people over years, right? And then once you have the results, then you can start making adjustments, right? Making some adjustments, but make the adjustment based off experience, not your emotions, right? Because we got scoreboards, we got leaderboards, we know who's doing estate planning, we know who is doing annuity, we know who is doing insurance, right, in retirement. So the system here is not here to really limit anybody's creativity, but it's to make sure that you have a system that your success can be duplicatable, right? It can be duplicatable. One thing I would say for sure about reinventing the wheel, don't customize before you capitalize. Don't customize before you capitalize the system that Andy Albright have worked so hard for. All the leaders have worked so hard for, come in, put their brains together and say, hey, this is what's worked over time. It has worked time and time again. We do it's three things. We do one thing, we sell, we recruit, and build. In order, right? There's a sequence of things that we do things here. So,
my God, that was amazing. Don't customize
until you capitalize.
Capitalize. Good God, on Friday. And it's Wednesday. All right.
Doing like Air Belair a little bit. Shout out to Air Belair. And one thing that Andy Albright said, we're making money, honey. Hey man,
that is just amazing, man. That is just big. I think we could go home on that note, right? One thing I know Andy has taught us is we want people to win and we want them to win. fast, right? Because winning creates belief.
And here's something that Josh and I really believe. How can we help someone win fast if we don't know what winning means to them? That's why we start figuring that out during the sharing the opportunity part, okay? We have been taught to find the pain point for our agents. And finding that pain point is not just asking, what went wrong or what did you do or what did you like doing over there. Finding the pain point is truly getting to know what the agent is looking for, okay? Their wins create momentum.
Yep.
We find out their pain point at the very beginning. So we know that what they want to win, and we know how we can help them win.
Yeah, because look, everybody's win is not the same. One person just needs an extra $500 a month. Someone else is ready to quit their job. Someone else wants to pay off some debt. All right. Someone else wants freedom, baby. Come on. Someone else, they just want some recognition. Right. And then you got someone else, they want to build a massive organization.
Right. And if we know what you want, now we can help you create a plan to get there. And y'all, I love creating plans. I be inside of there creating those plans, creating those schedules. I love doing that. Because when someone feels heard, something is changing, which is why we love saying here, we are just the bridge between them and their goals, okay? We are intentionally telling every agent that we want to bridge the gap between them and their goals because now they feel heard. And now they know that we are going to create a plan that's going to help them win with their true meaning of winning.
That's right. Because at the Alliance, this is massive. I heard Gina Hawk say it at the hotspot last night. What is the opportunity? It's massive. Okay, so we want to help them win. So Ryan, let me ask you, what are some methods you use to figure out what winning looks like for your agents?
Yeah.
Right. So, one, I had to work myself to stop assuming everybody define winning the same, as I do, because it's not, like you said, a lot of people are thinking winning might be making $10,000 a month. Doing what we do. Some people might be saying, okay, well, I just need additional $4,000 to come in, $2,000 to come in doing this part-time. And some might be, can I just take my family on an extra vacation per year? Right. So before I give somebody kind of my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish here is I want to make sure they understand their goals. I want to truly, truly define what their goals are, whether it's in sales or recruiting or building. And once you find out the goals, how do we kind of re-engineer back based off the activity? Because, with all these goals and there's no daily activity, then you and I would just had a conversation.
Exactly.
Okay. Goals without the daily activity equals we just had a conversation. So the thing is, we to define people's win a lot of time, and we did this exercise, right? I recommend it. I think we should always do it with our team. Is we came to our team call this week. We did not talk about numbers. We did not talk about production, anything about business. We literally have a lot of new agents shared their why, their stories, and why they're here. And that call was like, the feedback was like, this was just an amazing call. And people were saying like, wow, like we get to be here and be human.
Right.
Right. And because a lot of times I feel like we do a lot of talking and most people just talk, but most people don't listen or don't listen enough. Right. So that's kind of my suggestion as far as defining the winning and people's goals and kind of re-engineer saying, hey, what type of activity, right, we need to put forth to make sure we accomplish your goal. I think I heard this the other day. It says, I look forward to working for you. That's very powerful to say as a leader. I look forward to working for you, because most people, they don't get in the opportunity or at a job or a business to hear that. They say, wait, what do you mean? You look forward to working for me? For a leader to say that, it's being humble. It's saying that I'm there for you. I'm there with you. I'm there to listen to you. Right. And on the other side, right, if you're an agent, you got to be accountable. right? You gotta be teachable. You gotta be coachable. You gotta be humble enough to kind of keep an open mind, right? So then both ways, if we're acting and behaving that way, then we got to match.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, I like that because most people don't leave jobs because of the money. They leave because of the management, right?
Yep.
And if we can change that trajectory here, then we're going to get people that are truly wanting to be here. And that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. So, or let me ask you this, Sabrina. So tell me about somebody that you helped get a win and where you could actually see their confidence change. And what did that first win, what did that initial win actually do for them?
Yeah. So, I mean, as you know, an upline or a manager, I mean, having your agents win is just as good as you winning, because you really build a connection with your agents. And when they're able to, it's almost like having a bird flee the nest, and they're able to fly and do great things, because you always knew they could do those things. It's just they didn't believe in themselves first. Very recently, actually, we had an agent. Technically, her first event was staged to success of 2025. Now, she went, she came, she saw, and proceeded to do not a lot for a following year. Didn't go to another event. And then she said, I've had enough. I'm going to go to stage to success 2026. Which was in April or March. And that's when you can kind of see the light switch flip off for her. And after she went to that event, she just started going crazy in the sense of she wants to, build a team. She wants to, she now believes that everyone's got money, annuity money. She sold her first annuity, $200,000+. I mean, her name's Aisha Asiagu from Tampa, and super proud of her. And she did make her commitment, and she came to family reunion, which is even bigger because it shows that she's committed to this.
And what's her son.
Yeah, and her son Rocco. Yeah, he's fly. He's fly. I love Rocco. I hope Rocco loves me too. But he's they come together, which is huge. And then what she got to see actually the ring ceremony this last time, and she's like, I want a ring. And I said, all right, what are we going to do to make you get that ring? You got to put in some elbow grease for that. So we're working on a plan so that she can get that ring. And then so that annuity that, seeing that type of money, she got like a $9,000 check in one deposit.
Wow.
I mean, that changed her view on this whole business, just how easy it is to print money. Now, what she did the following week after that was submit another annuity. So she got her second annuity. And of course, I helped her greatly on the first one. Like, I helped her do the app. I was with the client and everything. But on the second one, it was a little bit different. She actually did most of the application by herself in the client's home, and I was there for help on the phone. So she did most of this one all by herself. So it shows growth in the agents. My biggest thing is when agents feel like they don't want to bother you, or you're too big, you're making all this money, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to bother you. And that's my worst fear. I don't want to be like someone that they don't feel like they want to bother. When I first got into the business, I didn't care if I was bothering my upline. I was here to make money. So, I mean, I didn't care if I was bothering. So if the biggest thing you take from this call is don't view yourself as a bother, because they're actually happy for you that you're doing those things and you're trying. I know when an agent's actually working is when they're actually calling me. Because if they're not, they got nothing to do.
Exactly. Yeah, I really like what you were saying. And I really love, Sabrina, that you know all of these things about your agent. And I'm sure she's not the only one that you know everything about that agent, right? And I think that literally relates to one of our favorite people principles: be interested, not interesting, right?
And especially when you're new, because you think you got to impress everybody, right? You got to know every product. I got to be able to have every answer. You got to tell them everything about this business, right?
Right. But sometimes you just need to stop talking, okay? Stop talking.
Look, my mama told me, Josh, you need to keep your radio station on KYMS. Keep your mouth shut.
So stop talking and ask questions and listen. You got to slow down to speed up. I literally remember Terry telling us that all the time in the office: slow down to speed up.
Yep. And instead of thinking, what should I say next? You need to start thinking, what is this person trying to tell me?
Yeah. Now, Josh, I think a good example is when the other day I sat down with the agent and we told him the number one question that we ask is, if you had an opportunity to partner with any company, whether it's with life insurance or not, what are you looking to gain from that company, or what are some of your must-haves? And he was like, yeah, right. So we're just asking them, what they don't like. I was like, no. And it's important to fully understand what's been said, okay? Because we aren't asking what they don't like. We are asking, what do you want in order to succeed? So we have to listen for what they want, what they're struggling with, what are they excited about? Because they could be excited, again, like we said, about making $500, or they could be excited about building a massive business. What are they afraid of? Because they could be afraid of having leaders that don't lead them. Or they could be afraid of not having financial stability. And we need to listen to things like, what do they want their life to look like?
Hey, look, that's huge, Alexis. That's huge for recruits and agents. Sometimes we so busy telling somebody about our opportunity that we haven't even figured out what we haven't even figured out what opportunity they're looking for. And I know for me, one thing that Terry and I used to talk about all the time, we're being transactional. A lot of times we believe that transaction only takes place while you're doing business with the client. No, transactions can take place because you can transact a person. Oh, get them on my team real quick. We got a contest going. I got to get somebody on my team real quick. You don't know nothing about them. How embarrassing is it if you recruit somebody and your upline asks you questions and you don't know the answer, and then your upline has a talk with your agents and they can tell you more about your agent than you can.
Exactly.
Okay? So we don't want to transact people. We want to build relationships.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Now, Sabrina, when you're talking to somebody new, what are you listening for?
Not just listening. I mean, body language is a big thing as well. But when I'm listening to someone, what I'm listening to is key. I call them red flags, or green flags in a way of, where are they on the Alliance Alice or Aiden, list? Do they have children? Are they married? Where did they go to college? Do they believe in a higher power? Like stuff along those lines that kind of ping off of like, oh, this is a good one, or this is, give them a shot. But listening to that, listening to maybe what their issues are, if it's self-doubt, if it's confidence, if it's, actually doing the work itself. So listening to, most people are going to give excuses, but really digging into behind of what that excuse rooted to is either self-confidence, doubt, or something was just more important. So really digging into more of why. and
good.
the tonality of a person. So you can see if someone is more open and will tell you everything, or if someone's a little bit more closed off. Now you're going to have to put a little bit more legwork into that relationship if they've been hurt before, and that they just kind of have closed walls. And then, I mean, once you get in there, I mean, it's going to be wide open, but you have to put in that work to get into there and really get to know people on a personal level. You know, big thing on our team is just calling some agents and just listening to them and talking to them, not even about business, but personal life. Their mom's dying, they got cancer, like whatever's going on in their life, and just knowing that you're a resource, not just in the business, but anywhere they need in life as well. So just talk them through, because what most people are looking for is a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And that's what this company is able to bring, which I love, because, you know, I wasn't in it to first make the money, but the sense of belonging is, I mean, that was no other. And the sense of being a part of a bigger group, something bigger than yourself, was amazing.
Yeah, that's very big. We like to say here you can belong before you can behave, right? So that is really big. Alexis, I'm gonna kind of surprise you with a little question real quick. So I want you to tell the Alliance, how do you make somebody feel heard without the conversation sounding like it's an interview?
Okay, so I like that question, because when I'm starting off talking to or sharing an opportunity to somebody off of the agent list, the first thing I'm going to tell them is, hey, I'm very laid back. Okay. This conversation could be like we're just two old friends catching up. Okay. So I like to go ahead and let them know this isn't something that you got to put your big old suit on and use all those different words. Just come to me and we can talk. That way I can truly get to know that person. And Sabrina literally touched on it when she said that if you help them feel heard, or let them know that you're going to listen to them, they're going to open up more to you, right? And when you get those people that open up to you, then you know that you're not going to have to push or work them harder. And Josh, I really like the 3-foot rule, because you're getting people that already trust you, right? It's not so much of the pushing. They already trust you. So now you know that they can go into the system and move with you because they already trust you.
Man, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, Ryan, I would want to ask, like, what questions do you ask to figure out what someone really wants, not just what you think they need?
Got it. So, and the hint before, asking question is really to remember. And I think a lot of us, have that experience. Have you ever tried someone asked a good question and you were trying to answer and they interrupt you during your answer? Oh yeah, so they're you ask a good questions, a good head start, and then while they're answering, you interject and say some other thing. So literally, before we start asking questions, people make sure that we have that top of mind. And I think some questions will be, things like, why did you get into this business? What have you heard about the financial service industry? Things like, what would need to change financially for you for this opportunity to really matter for you? Right? What needs to change financially? And things like a vision questions will be, if everything worked out the way you wanted it, what would life look like in the next 12 months? The all expense paid trip, the agency manager ring, the leaderboards, and having a team of people that align with your goals and your vision, right? Working with friends, working with people that you get to choose you want to work with, not just by default, right? Couple of things I love, and that goes into sales and recruiting hand to hand, is why is that important to you?
Right.
Why is that important to you? Right. And there's another one. Tell me more about that. If I'm recruiting Josh and we're having a great conversation and ask Josh about his job, he go, man, that boss of mine, I just feel like he's always telling me what to do, where to be, I'm sick of it. I'm like, paused 2 seconds, looked at Josh in the eye and said, tell me more about that. What do you mean by, help me understand. Tell me what to do, where to be. What does that look like? Tell me more about that. So, and then this morning we do our little language training on a Wednesday morning, and it's the same thing when it comes to sales. A lot of agents, I've seen this over the course of 11 years in this career, is saying they got the client to start opening up to them, and they interrupt and then go into the next thing, right? Moving forward to the application when clients are, so I typically ask a question of, has life insurance ever played a pivotal role in your life, impacted your life? Have life insurance played a role and really truly impact your life? And get them to open up about the story. Oh, my brother-in-law passed. Oh, what happened? Tell me more about that. Oh, it was a motorcycle accident. It was tragic. How old was your brother-in-law when he died? He was 37. Oh, gosh, that's very young. What's his name? Cody. Got it. Oh, did Cody have any family and children? How old? So you see what I'm saying? I'm circling and I'm trying to build a really strong why and then tie it back to, was that maybe part of the reason why we're sitting down here and it was important to you to get some coverage in place? Right? So, but a lot of agents say, oh, my brother, oh, got it. So that's why we got to put this in place. Let's start with the application and we're going to put this 500,000. Like, you were in the perfect opportunity so come back to recruiting. Sometimes the key here on recruiting skill is not to figure out what to say next. It's figure out when not to talk. And figure out when to ask for their question.
Yeah, right. I think that's amazing, because when you think about your agent's why, when you had that call with your team and they were able to talk about their whys, you already knew it, because when you're talking to them, you're getting to their why when you are asking those questions. And that just shows the type of leader that you are.
And Ryan, are you sitting here telling the whole Alliance Nation that building the why is not just for presentations when we're talking to clients? Am I getting this right, that you're telling the whole Alliance Nation that they should be building a why with their recruits and their agents?
Absolutely. Wow. You the stronger the why, the bigger the action, baby. The stronger the why, the speed of the urgency is getting there. How fast are you fast tracking? How fast are you getting your license done? How fast are you getting contracted? How fast are we doing personal use? We're talking now, we're right now, right? That's but right. Then if my wife's not big enough, if Josh, I didn't feel like you hurt me, I don't feel like my why matters to you, well, then my speed and my urgency not going to be there where you want it, sir.
Exactly.
Wow. And I'm saying that backwards. Wow.
I think that's actually where leadership is standing out, because we all have a vision. Josh and I have a vision for our business and our team, and we can't expect someone to immediately care about our vision.
Right. First, look, I got to care about theirs. If I know what they're trying to accomplish and I'm genuinely trying to help you accomplish it, trust starts developing at that point. Okay. So you got to know their vision. That leads to trust. Then results. The results create belief, which in return creates a shared vision. I'm going to say that one more time. Know their vision. That leads to trust. Then results. The results create belief, which can create a shared vision. Okay. So the more somebody sees that you have their vision in mind, the more they'll eventually become to seeing your vision. They like to say nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I go as far as to say nobody knows how much you care until you show how much you care. Okay, so how do you get people to? Well, I'll ask this to Sabrina. How do you get people to buy into a bigger vision?
How to get people to buy into a bigger vision is if they want that vision too. So it has to be a part of their vision. So, just see a part of themselves there. I mean, my agent didn't see herself getting a ring or becoming a manager, or actually, I think she wanted to be board member or integrity partner. She didn't get to see that until she saw other people being there and seeing, oh, I could fit in here as well. So that's about playing into the bigger vision, as well as the trust and just the length of time, like the speed of trust a agent has with you is going to build that camaraderie. It's going to build that connection. How much you've helped them, how much when they look back and they say, a year ago, I'm not in the same place I was a year ago, and I have to thank you for that. I mean, that's where that's going to build, and that camaraderie is going to build. I have to think about one of my best agents, and he's actually an agent from Depth, is Daniel Dana. And looking at it, I mean, we first got him, but once he entered our lives and partnered with the Alliance, almost about 3 years ago now, it's been crazy. But the camaraderie is what he was talking with a couple other companies at the time, but the ability that he was coming to our house to dial, and that we weren't so nice with him sometimes. We didn't let him, just slide by. We were strong with him, as well as, we were also an ear to talk to as well. So agents aren't just looking for, someone to blow smoke all the time. They also want to have real conversations. Now, depending on the agent, it may be more frequently than others when you blow smoke versus when you have real conversations with them. But he was one that was very vocal in his mission, and 6 months, 9 months in, he was like, I think I'm done. And then so we were like, you know what, give it 3 or 6 more months, going it hard, listen to us. And that's when the estate planning came, and we brought that opportunity to him, and that changed his life.
That is crazy. That's a great story.
Doors just open up when you stay consistent and keep going, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. The Alliance has 100% success rate for people that don't quit.
That's right.
Exactly. Now, Ryan, it kind of plays into what Sabrina said, honestly. She did a very amazing job at breaking that question down. But what do you think makes a person feel like they're truly part of an organization instead of just another number?
So when they join my team and my organization, I try to put myself in their shoes. I think that's the best practice. Put myself in their shoes, and can I help answer these 3 questions? Right? You know me, you see me, and I do matter here. You know me, you see me, and I do matter here. Right? Because now recognition is huge, right? And obviously Alliance, we got contests, we got leaderboard and recognitions. But when it comes to like productions, yes, you can get people recognized, but when it comes to relationships, you get people rooted in your organization.
Yeah.
A good example is like, I would challenge, again, to the Alliance Nation is, do you know your agent's children's name, and how old are they? Because I mean, everybody knows my son's name, Andy
You know his
Chang,
name.
named after Andy Albright. Andy's 20 months old, but it's just the thing that I'd see what Andy does for us. It's not just service level with us, but it's knowing our spouse, remembering our children's name, and asking about them, and that truly really matters when it comes to belonging in the organization. It's not just yes, they win, they've submitted a policy, they got issue pay. We're really big on that, but a lot of times can we just call somebody? Maybe they haven't been on a team call. Maybe they didn't come to family reunion. Maybe you saw that they haven't purchased their ticket for NBC October, right, 16th to the 18th. But hey, haven't seen you. What's going on? And check in. And same thing with clients. It doesn't have to be, hi, Mr. Parker, I'm calling you for a policy review. Versus hey, Josh, isn't it hotter than it's Hades out there, man? I just want you to know I'm still alive and kicking. Just chilling to say hi. It's those things that really matters. And how about, I had this thing where an agent literally texted me a photo of him, of the agent and Andy Albright and the 3 children that he had with him at the time, and the comment was, man, I would give anything to go back to 2023.
Wow.
And that hit me really hard. And maybe it was, at the time, it was on the leaderboard. The production was great, leading a team, doing all the right things. And things happen. Personal things happen, right? All of us. Stuff happens, and maybe production took a dive. Maybe feel like things are not working out. Maybe the energy is more towards negative energy versus positive. But I literally sent him a text back and said, hey, with your capability, and you have done it before, you can create a better 2026 and create an even better 2027.
That's right.
And so it's one of those things where we can't just be there when things are going well and celebrating and doing recognition when business are great, but are you also being there when things are not doing so hot? Right. And it's those moments that matters, because it's like a revival. Think about a revival kit. If you're playing a game, you have a revive, and you get them a little shot, and they come back alive. And sometimes they come back alive, Josh and Alexis, even stronger. You guys, we've seen people come back stronger.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And I think Andy Albright talks about keeping your hands on people that may say, this isn't the opportunity for me right now, because we never know down the line what life they're living now. And this opportunity could be what they're looking for later on. And so he always tells us to keep your hands on those people. And I think Sabrina talked about her agent who, came in 2025, but took a little break. And I'm more than certain Sabrina was keeping her hands on her because her agent felt comfortable enough coming back to Sabrina in 2026. So keeping your hands on your team is absolutely necessary.
Yeah. And I mean, this opportunity is amazing. When I say it's truly one of the best, probably the best opportunity there is, that is true. Just look at James and Angie Coleman. They left, and how James said, and Andy took me back. Right? And now look at where their organization is going. Right? It's getting massive. So I think there's a saying, if you love something, let it go. And if it come back, then right? So amazing. But because this opportunity is so massive, this is why we believe in the triangle of trust, right? Why we believe that agents should get people to their uplines quickly. Right? This allows for trust to build fast. It allows people to get a feel of our culture, and it's showing a person a completely different person that is getting great results as well. Right? So the process creates multiplication in your business. Okay. So real quick, let's talk about multiplication. Okay. Because one relationship shouldn't always end with just one relationship.
Right. Yeah. Because, clients knows people, recruits knows people, your agent's going to know somebody, your friends know somebody. But the question really comes down to, are you building relationships strong enough that people want to introduce you to other people? So I do have another question for you, Ryan. What's the difference between an agent who's simply good at talking to people and an agent who's actually good at developing relationships?
Mm. A good talker knows how to make somebody listen.
Yeah.
A good relationship builder knows how to make somebody feel heard.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a huge difference because some people, they're already thinking what to say next while the person's still talking. And a good relationship builder, and you will see the master of Andy Albright doing this, right? I mean, just what's underneath the words, right? The family, the fear, their goal, frustration, and their why. So when people actually understand people, you don't have to sell as hard. You don't have to sell the opportunity as hard. You don't have to sell the policy or the annuity as hard, the trust as hard. When you truly understand the pain point and truly what's important, back to that question, why is that important to you?
Yeah.
And one of I think the core principle that we should keep top of mind is with recruiting and with team building is connection before production. Connection before production. If you're able to connect, you don't have to really sell as hard. And so I think, the great builders, they always remember that. And it kind of brought me back earlier. Andy mentioned this one time, I think on the call, what's everyone's favorite radio station? WIIFM. What's in it for me?
That's right.
I like that.
So, look, what's in it for me? If you can't find out what's in it if you can't help your agents understand what's in it for them, they're not going to help you be able to meet your goals. So you have a goal, but if you help your agents understand and meet their goals, ultimately you're going to meet yours as well. So, Sabrina, how are you keeping these existing relationships? Like, how are you keeping them healthy while also adding width and depth?
So I find the easiest way is, you're going to be in contact with a lot of different people. That's the reality of it. But going where you're like wanted and needed, or wanted, not needed. Okay. So spending your time with the ones that actually deserve your time, the ones that are trying. Okay. So like, how do I, handle someone differently, like Danny, who's been with me for 3 years, versus a new agent that's been with me for a couple of days. Okay, so that's obviously going to be a different level of connection, but I would say I possibly spend more time with the newer agent than I do with the other agents. Now, what I do with the veteran agents is that we're doing different type of stuff. So when you come into the business, where you start is going to be totally different from where you are like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years ago. So the conversations I have with like an agent like Danny isn't the same conversation I would have been able to have with him 3 years ago. It is totally different because the priorities are also different. He's working on depth. He's working on recruiting, where when he first started, it was mainly sales and like people, the list and stuff. It's a totally different situation. Now, how to keep those relationships strong is you got to go out and be with your people. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, Danny and I, we hang out a lot and we do like certain games and stuff, but also bringing in other agents into that atmosphere and that relationship is going to be like, dang, I want this too. I mean, playing board games, playing video games, or, cash flow, stuff like that, of that sort of environment's contagious. And that's how it works. And with newer agents, you just got to get them around. You got to get them around the fire. You got to get them to the hot spots. You got to get them with you. So either if that's you going out to see them, or if that's them coming to you, You have to do that. You have to build those connections, because really you can't do it in 1 hour. You can't do it in 2 hours. It's going to take time, repetition, and consistency to do that.
Right. And the word that I'm looking for is intentionality. You know what you're doing with certain agents and compared to other agents. And I think that's really big. And it's like you're reading our minds, because intentionality is literally what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
So everything we talked about today really comes down to being intentional. You can know a lot of people and still not build a business. You can have a huge contact list and still not build a business. Okay. You can even have great people skills and not build a business if there's no action behind it.
Yeah. And being intentional means knowing where your people are, like Sabrina knows, and what their next steps need to be, just like Ryan was talking about. Like, who needs that phone call, or who needs the introduction to your upline? Who needs to get around the culture? And getting around the culture, Andy Riddle, we were talking to him about our office, and he was explaining like what to have in your office to create the atmosphere that Sabrina was talking about. So it really is big to have people coming in and getting a feel for that culture. But who needs help getting their first win? Think about that. Who needs to be connected to your upline quickly? And who do you need to, or who's showing you that they're ready to lead?
Yep. And that's where the system and the people skills come together. The system tells us what to do. The relationship helps us understand how to do it with that particular person. And intentional leadership makes sure we actually do it. So you got to know them, you got to connect them, you got to move them, and then develop them.
We don't want to just collect people. We have to develop them. And sometimes the difference between somebody staying stuck and somebody becoming your next builder is simply having a leader who paid enough attention to recognize what they needed next.
Okay, so now let's bring everything into context as we're closing. Bring it back together. If you're looking at the 25,000 points and thinking, how in the world am I going to get 25,000 points? For one, you need to change your question.
You can literally ask yourself, you can ask yourself, how many people can I help win? Helping your agents get their goals will ultimately lead to your goals.
Yep. Yeah. And because when people win, that's when production happens. You got people plus the process plus purpose plus production equals points, baby.
Helping your agent win, helping them make their first sale, help them get their first recruit, and help somebody become a leader, you guys.
Come on. Because look, develop enough winning people and the scoreboard, it start taking care of itself.
Yeah.
So we're going to finish with a few quick notes. Okay? Mm-hmm. Well, we'll just say this. Remember how we're building, getting people started quickly. Yeah. Okay? Being intentional with people. Make sure you're building the why with people. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And they know how much you care because you show how much you care. So I want everybody, all Alliance Nation that's watching this call, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do in the next 24 hours, okay? This is 24 hours. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do in the next 24 hours that can create a new relationship, strengthen an existing one, or move somebody forward. Okay, so we're gonna shoot for these contests. We want to see everybody in Portugal, but on top of that, we want to see your business grow. So thank you so much to Sabrina, Frank. Thank you so much to Ryan Chang. Thank you so much to all the Alliance and its partners. We were so thrilled to do this call, and we will see y'all back here on Friday for the activity call. Now let's go out there, let's have fun, let's make money, and let's make a difference, baby. Take care.